Welcome to one of your very first assignments. We're going to be using a web page called Wordle. So the first thing you should do is open up Google Chrome, which is the web browser that I prefer. It might be a desktop icon, or you might have to go find it. And the best way to do that is to click on the Windows button and go down here to Search Programs and Files. And if I just start typing Chrome, it'll be the first thing that pops up. And that's how you open up Chrome. I actually have it open up down here already. We're going to go to a web page called Wordle.net. Don't try Wordle.com, it's totally different. And Wordle allows you to create a word cloud like one of the ones you see down here. And so it takes a bunch of words that have some sort of theme, and it puts them in some sort of funky pattern. You'll notice that some words are bigger than others, and I'll talk about how to make that happen in just a few minutes. So you can go ahead and play with Wordle for a few minutes, go to the gallery, see what kind of things people have done. And when you're ready, go ahead and click on Advanced, because we're going to do some advanced stuff today. Usually you would just go to Create, and you could just type in a bunch of words in here. And if I were to type the word here several times and the word words a couple of times and pressed go, this is going to pop up probably on your screen as well. You just have to say run this time. And if this pops up, click that and say run. And it threw these words in here, and you'll see that the word here is the biggest because I had that word that many times. The word words is second biggest because I had it a few times as well. And I can change the layout, the colors, and the font to be however I want. That's the easy way to do it, sort of the simple way. We're going to do a much better job if we go over to Advanced. So here you'll see we can actually pick the words we want to have in our Wordle, and we can specify not only how big they are, but what color they are. So if we go right here to Wordle Advanced, I can write a word, and then I have a colon, and I have a number. So let's just start with 100. I'll do another word, make it 200. And I'm just doing this to give us an idea of how big these numbers will actually make the words. There you go. Let's change the layout to horizontal. And you'll see Eames was 100, technology was 200, fun was 300, and computer was 400. You can, of course, change the numbers to suit your needs. So I'm going to go back. And there's something else you can do as well, and that's specify the colors. And you do that by using a programming language called hexadecimal, or just hex for short. And you'll see they have the word, a number, and then they have this strange code. So I'm going to go ahead and paste that code into the box and press go. And so that code must stand for this purplish blue color. And I'm assuming that FFFFFF must be white because the background was white. For this assignment, I'm asking you to pick 30 words, and the words should express who you are, the kinds of things you enjoy, and basically just describe you as a person. So you need 30 words, and what I would suggest is that you go through and do the words first. The words and their sizes. You should make the size correspond to how important that word actually is. So I would expect to see your name as probably the biggest thing on the screen. It should have the highest number value. And things that become more or less important then could have different numbers to correspond. So my suggestion is to go through and do all 30 of your words and their sizes. And then we're going to head to a different website to get these hexadecimal codes. And it's color-hex.com. And it's really easy. We have this little downward arrow here. Over here you can pick sort of the general color you're looking for. Are you looking for a blue? Then go over here. And then you can sort of tweak it to find the exact color blue that you really want. And as you'll notice that as I move this around, the code is changing. This is the code I actually need. So if I want this color blue, The code is 1422C7. The easiest way to do this is going to be to copy and paste it. So I'm going to highlight this code. I don't need the pound sign. I'm going to right click and do copy. I'm going to go back to Wordle. Make sure I have a colon after the number. I'm going to right click and do paste. And let me do one more word. I think you can have a space there. I don't think it matters, but I'm just going to leave the space out just in case it does matter. I'm going to go back to color hex, and let's get a red. That's going to be C71414. Let's right-click copy. Right-click paste. And let's press go. See how we did. Run this time. There we go. We have our blue fruit bats and our red technology. You can see the sizes correspond to the numbers I picked. And change the layout to horizontal. Horizontal means left to right. Vertical means up and down. You can have mostly horizontal, so some words might be up and down, but most will be left to right. You can also have any which way, which sort of goes all over the place. The fonts you just have to play with and see which ones you like. And the color is already done for you. There's one very important thing that I realized I forgot to mention, and it might save you a lot of frustration and a lot of headache. And that is, after I've gone through and made all my words and all my numbers for the size and all my hexadecimal colors, before I press go, I want to make sure that if something goes wrong, I'm not going to lose everything completely and have to start over. Because if that happens, I can imagine you're going to be pretty angry. So before I press go, I'm going to highlight everything I have, all 30 words, all the numbers, all the hexadecimal, and I'm going to right click and I'm going to copy it. That way, if something does go wrong and I have to start fresh, all I have to do is right click and paste it back, and I haven't lost anything. So please take a minute and do that. And if you don't do that, please don't come running to Mr. Eames about how he messed up your work. Now's probably a good time to show you the rubric for this assignment. I'm going to try and do this for all your assignments so you're very clear on the kind of points you'll receive when you complete the assignment. So I have the element of the project on one side and the points possible for that element on this side. And so I'm asking you to use 30 or more words, and that's going to get you 15 points. All words are going to be spelled correctly. Given that we're on a computer and we have access to the internet, there is absolutely no excuse for words to be misspelled. So that'll get you 10 points. I want to have 4 different colors for the words. That does not include the background color, and that will get you 10 points. And then what I'm about to describe is how you're going to paste it onto a document and write a short paragraph about it. That's going to get you 15 points for a total of 50 points. I went back to the Wordle site and I went to the gallery and I found a nice Wordle that I liked. It doesn't have 30 words, but for the sake of time, I'm just going to go ahead and show you how to take this and put it onto a Word document. So the first thing I need is a Word document. So I'm going to go ahead down to my Start menu, and I'm going to search for Word. Okay, Microsoft Office Word 2007. Okay, here we are. The very first thing I'm going to do before I do anything else, and get used to me saying this, is we're going to save it. Because once we save it for the first time and give it its own unique name, saving it after that becomes very easy, and you're much more likely to save it often. So I'm going to hit up the Office button up here. I'm going to do Save As. By now you'll have a folder on your computer for your files, and that's where you should save it. That should probably be in your shared drive, so that if anything happens to this particular computer, you'll still have the file without any problems. But what I'm going to do is show you how to name all files in this classroom, and they should have 2 things. They should have the assignment, which is Wordle, underscore, and then your last name. I want to be very clear about this. The file name should be the assignment, underscore, and your last name. If that's not what your assignment is called and you turn it in, I will not grade it, I will delete it, and I will wait for you to name it properly and send it to me. So I'm going to press Save. And you'll notice that up here, the title of the document has changed. And now if I want to save the file, I can simply go to Save, or I can press the Control key and the S key at the same time. That's a shortcut for saving. Makes it very simple. When you do Save As, the only reason you would do that is if you wanted to change the name of the file, and we don't need to do that except for the very first time. So here's our Word document. Because of the way Wordle is set up, you can't actually just save the picture you make. It's a little annoying, but I'm going to teach you a really cool shortcut that will make it so it doesn't matter. We're going to take what's called a screenshot. We're literally going to take a picture of this screen like we had a camera. And Windows has this neat tool that makes it very easy. So I'm going to go down to the Start menu. I'm going to start searching for the Snippet tool. See, a Snipping tool comes right up. I'm going to open up the Snipping tool. Okay, I'm going to move this out of the way. And I'm going to click and drag the cursor around just my Wordle. I might decide I don't even need all of that space down there. I'm going to let go. And here I have a picture of just my Wordle. A picture that I could either copy and then paste onto my Word document, or what might be even better is to save it so you have a copy of it. I'm going to save this. So I'll say this is my Wordle snip, and I'll put my name on there just so we're clear. And it's going to be saved. I would save it into your own folder. This one's going to be in the picture library, but I would put it in your own folder. And now you have a copy of it just in case anything goes wrong. But for today's purposes, what might be simpler is just to copy it. So I'm going to press copy. I'm going to go to my Word document, right click, and press paste. And there you have it. Okay, so here we are on our Word document with our Wordle. You'll notice it's kind of a pain to try and move it around, so I'm going to teach you a little trick. I'm going to double click on the picture. And that's going to bring up a lot of different options I can take with my picture. I can give it a nice border if I want to. And there's actually a ton of these that you can actually play with. You might decide that you want to use one of these. Just make sure it doesn't cut off the words like this one does. This one's kind of nice. It puts a little reflection at the bottom. But what I'm really looking for right now is this text wrapping. And text wrapping describes how the text and a picture will interact with each other. And I'm going to do this one called Through, which makes it really easy. I can actually now just move this picture wherever I want it, which will allow me to move it down a little bit so that I can put my name up here. Then I can move over the Tab key, and I can put today's date. For me, it's the 23rd. It's the Friday before school starts. Hope you guys are enjoying your very last day of summer break. And then down below, I need to press Enter a few times. What I'm asking you to do is to write a pretty simple, short, one-paragraph description of your Wordle and what it might mean. I've updated our rubric so that I have a second rubric that just describes what should be in this paragraph. You'll see I'm asking for 6 sentences at least. Feel free to write more. That gets you 8 points. You should have both a topic and a closing sentence, which gets you 3 more. And once again, proper spelling will get you 4 points. I do want to point out one thing about spelling that I forgot to mention before, and that's it's so simple to spell things properly. When I spell things wrong on the computer, typically I get a squiggly red line underneath the word. If I right-click on the word, usually it's going to give me some options. Now, that's the word I'm looking for. I can simply click on that word and it will be changed automatically. Sometimes it won't come up automatically. I was trying to spell the word this here, but that's not one of my options, so I better go back myself and fix it. There's the proper way to spell wrong. If you are really stumped, you could always go to dictionary.com and figure it out that way. So back to my Word document. I need to start out with a topic sentence, so this Wordle. And that's kind of funny because Wordle, it's going to tell me is spelled wrong, but that's just because the dictionary doesn't understand that that's a real word. So I'm going to leave that one alone. This Wordle describes who I am as a person. I chose to make the word passion very large because I think it is one of my best qualities. And I'm going to go on for 6 sentences. At the end, I should have a closing sentence. This Wordle shows who I really am. The closing sentence, of course, should be sort of a restatement of your topic sentence, something very similar that sort of sums up everything in the paragraph. Once I'm done, or as I'm working really, I should be pressing Control S all the time. That's going to be saving the document. And now all that's really left to do is to hop back onto Edmodo, find the Wordle assignment, and turn it in.